This short video will introduce you to common filters found in Blackboard data reporting, how they interact with report content and each other. Let's start with some guidance about filters in general. The reports are initially unfiltered, meaning that they're showing data from across the institution and as far back in time as we have data, though some reports are limited in historical data for performance reasons. When you make a selection in a filter, it's applied immediately, and the report refreshes to reflect this. There's no additional action you need to take. When you select or hover over a filter, a three-dot menu icon appears in its top right corner. Select this to be able to refresh or reset the filter selection. You can collapse the filter pane by selecting the up arrow in the top right corner of the pane to focus on the report content. Note that your filter selection is retained when switching between tabs in the same report, but not when you move to another report. Now let's look at the standard filters used across most reports which enable you to focus on a specific part of your organization. The example we're using here is the Social and Collaborative Engagement report, and the Learning Tools Engagement tab in particular. The following filters apply to courses, and usually apply to all visualizations in a report. The term filter uses information in Blackboard Learn to filter courses based on their alignment to a term or semester. If you're not using this feature in Learn, then the filter will be empty. By default, all terms are selected, so you need to deselect all before making your selection. This is a multi-select filter, so you can, for example, search for 2022 and select all results. Or pick individual terms. If you're not using terms, or you are but would like to further filter courses within a term, you can use a date option. The default date filter type is course creation date, because every course has a known value for this. Depending on how Blackboard Learn is configured, courses might be created in batches on a specific date for the year, or individually according to data in your student information system. By choosing a from and to range with this filter type, the results will show courses that were created between these dates. The other date filter type is course start date, which uses the start date for the course in Learn. This isn't always available, but where it is, it's often more accurate than the term start date. To select a date range, click the Date From or Date To filter, and you'll see a date picker. The default date range is intentionally broad to avoid filtering any courses out initially. You can select the year in the date picker to choose the year from a drop-down list. Then use the arrows to go through the months. And finally select the day. Alternatively, you can just delete what's already there, type in a date in the format year/month/day, and press enter to apply the filter. Filters work in combination, so if you've already selected a term and you select a date range, the results will include a subset of the two conditions. This means that it's possible to have clashing filters that produce no results. For example, if you were to select a 2022 term and a start date range in 2016, you wouldn't have any results. In most cases, you're likely to use only one of these filters anyway. Institutional hierarchy is a feature in Blackboard Learn that enables you to mirror the structure of your organization through a series of nodes with parent-child relationships, and to associate courses and users to these nodes. A node can therefore be a campus, college, department, or subject, and you can have multiple parallel branches of nodes for different structures such as academic level and program. It's highly flexible and configured by your system administrator. In Blackboard data reporting, we use this feature to make it easy to filter courses and aggregate data to the node level, enabling comparisons of nodes with the same parent, for example, departments within a given college. We have 4 levels of filters for institutional hierarchy filtering, enabling you to work your way down the chain of nodes to find the academic unit you're interested in, so you can choose Institution for Level 1, College of Humanities for Level 2, Languages for Level 3, and French for Level 4. If you have more levels than this, then anything below Level 4 will be shown as a combined string, so if we had Basic and Advanced within French, this would be shown as French Basic and French Advanced. If you want to change your selection in a higher level than what you've already selected, you'll need to reset the filters for all levels below. Let's say you've already selected French, but now want to look at a different college. you'll need to reset the filters for level 3 and 4 before you can see any results or select another node at those levels. The Course ID filter lets you filter based on all or part of a course ID, which is the short code you see in Blackboard Learn at the top of a course. These codes are usually designed in a logical way, so they may contain the subject code, course number, and usually an indicator of the term or academic year, so this is a good option if you're not using institutional hierarchy or terms. In this filter, you can type in part of a course ID and then select all results, and you can use wildcards to combine different parts of a course ID, use a star for a string of characters of any length between your search terms, or a question mark for a single character. Course duration type allows you to choose whether to include fixed courses, those with a known start and end date, or continuous courses, those without. This may be useful if you have roll-on roll-off courses where the activity can't be realistically compared with a more traditional time-limited course. So far, we've only looked at course-related filters, but there are other common filters that apply to other elements, such as student enrollments. The Include Unavailable Enrollments filter controls whether enrollments should be included in the report when a student is unavailable, not enabled, or deleted, at the course or system level. As a general rule, you'll probably want to set this to No for current courses, and Yes for completed courses if you have a policy of deleting enrollments or courses after a term finishes. The Exclude Enrollments with No Activity After X Days filter provides the ability to filter out students whose course activity stops after a given number of days. This is useful for institutions that allow students to switch their enrollment to different courses before the census date but don't remove the student or make them unavailable at that point. If your census date is, for example, 30 days after the start of a given term, you could set this number to 30 and it should filter out these students. Note that this could also filter out students who continued in the course yet became inactive for other reasons, so use this filter with caution. Note that some reports may not yet use these common filters, but they are being phased in through improvements to existing reports, and used by default in appropriate new reports. You will of course find other filters in different reports, but what you've learned from this video should make them easier to use. Remember that you'll find detailed information on our help site, accessed from the question mark icon in the bottom right corner of every page.